so excited to be back in studio today for Hope Ignited. You know, we have had some really great episodes so far, and I feel like we've done a great job at just really utilizing this table as a place for our family to come, have a seat, let the walls down. And today is sincerely no exception to what is for sure to be one of the greatest episodes we've had. I want to start in the way of introductions. There really is no resume long enough. We could have billboards, Tinker Tape parades. I mean, you guys just have so many incredible milestones and achievements and awards. But welcome to the studio, Hall of Fame coach Dale Harris.
Thank you.
And his lovely wife, Ann. Ann is our 2018 Women of Hope Founders Award winner. Again, we could go on and on and on with introductions in the way of awards and titles and recognitions, but we're just excited to have you guys here because you're family. So welcome to the table.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So glad to have you.
Yes. You know, we talked a lot about what it meant to have you guys in studio because there are just so many different ways that you've played a huge part with National Breast Cancer Foundation specifically. But let's just kind of take it back a few years. You know, Coach, it's been a very exciting year for you. I mentioned earlier, Hall of Fame coach. We've known a long time, right? NBA Coach of the Year. But I want you to take me back and talk to me about where you were sitting when you found out that Hall of Fame was happening this year.
Well, there wasn't anything exciting about it. I think I was sitting in my chair in front of the computer. But the irony of it was that I'd been nominated for a number of years
10.
and hadn't
Who's counting?
hadn't gotten in to it. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided that it's best not to think about it anymore, not to hope for it, as a matter of fact, because it didn't qualify with what I thought a person, as the kind of thing that a person should hope for. I can talk about that later, but, and I've had so many other things that happened that were things I would never have expected, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20 years ago. I just, I've been coaching all that time. Mm-hmm. And so particularly I had figured I wouldn't get in this year because I knew that they always make the selection at the NCAA Final Four. And it was on a Saturday and Monday, as always. And, the last month before, when they hadn't called, not going to get in this year, probably won't ever. And then, certainly a week before, I thought, I wonder who is actually getting in and so forth. They didn't call me until Tuesday.
Wow.
To be ready to go Saturday.
Wow.
And they said,
It's not even enough time to find time to find a tie or something.
Right?
You got to
don't
clip on.
Don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. And so anyway,
Wow.
that
we couldn't tell
was the
anybody.
way it was. And so
You did, but you had to go in and tell Ann, right? Did you have some? Could you tell on his face like something had happened?
No.
No, he was
No,
stoic.
his face, no.
Wow,
So
I was
stoic.
poker
He's
face.
in his office, I'm in my office, and he said something like, well, they just called me about the Hall of Fame. And I got in and went, and it didn't register. I'm like, really? What?
Like the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you did it? You got in, all right.
Can I just tell you on the contrary, I remember exactly where I was when I got the text from Ann, and she couldn't say anything, right? But she was like, hey, don't know what you're doing this weekend. Make sure you have your TV on. This is what's going to be going on. So we're scrambling to make sure we have it set up to record, explaining to the kids what it is, just in case that's what it could be, So I think the reason you have so many fans like our family, right, and the NBCF family is because you don't, like, it's exciting to you, but that's not what defines you. And that's just been one of my favorite things about the both of you, as many years as I've known you. I just love how nonchalant, right? Like, hey, they called me, I'm in the Hall of Fame. That's just, but in the way of awards, how does this one measure? I mean, not that some are more important than others, but to you, is there some finality, like this was the biggest or most exciting?
The main difference in this one was that it's given to you at the place where basketball started, and it's in the name of the whole thing, in the name of the man who did start it. And I've studied the game, the history of it, and so forth, and actually been coaching, touching on 8 decades, believe it or not. I started coaching in 1959. That gets you in the 50s. And I'm still working now. I'm not a coach, but I'm with the Legends team in the 20s. And actually did literally coach in 6 different decades. So basketball started out as being important to me as a kid. I got my first ball when I was 5 years old, and a neighborhood boy went off to war and gave me his ball in 1942. And I played basketball. I was in the state of Indiana, where basketball in those days was maybe too important. It was a way of life, really. So,
can I ask one question on that? Going back, I was a huge fan of the Hoosiers. Loved Indiana University, Keith Smart, and I'm going to name drop some names here, but anyway, is Indiana, or rather, the Hoosiers movie? Did that capture how the state really felt about it? Because I always wondered that when I was a kid. Like, was it as big a deal there as we all thought it was?
Absolutely, it was. It's not now like it was then, because they've had all these consolidations in schools.
Yeah.
And there were, back in those days, there were 700 high schools, and every little crossroads had their school, and they identified with their team. And, if you've got, the first high school I was head coach of, I had 19 seniors,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I don't mean 19 boys.
Yeah.
I had 19 seniors. So whatever it was, I think 8 or 9 boys that were seniors and so forth.
You just took what you got.
Yeah, and yet we had to play, if we had gone on and on and on, like Milan did, Hickory. There's no Hickory.
Yeah.
But anyway, that movie was a composite of things that happened in a lot of little towns in the 50s in Indiana, and even the early 60s. It was the same in the 50s, 60s. The 2 big events that actually happened at so-called Hickory that were accurate toward that particular team was that they were a little school, and they played the big schools in the end. And the guy they called Jimmy in the movie was Bobby.
Yeah.
And that last play was the way that game was won.
Wow.
And the way they slowed the game down to play against, in the movie, South Bend Central, in reality, Muncie Central.
Wow.
And I was at the game.
Wow.
And I still have
Incredible.
Still have the ticket. It's right.
And what year was that?
1954, and the movie was 1952. But it's a true story, but not specifically true of that.
Based on
but
true.
It's a composite of things that happened in many small schools in that era, and all of whom entered that tournament, just one class, with the hope that they could get at least to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And then if you get to the Final Four, well, this team, Milan, it's Milan in Italy, but in Indiana,
Yeah.
it's Milan.
Yeah.
Island, yeah.
Same in West Texas. by the way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so, anyway, they had a great team coming back. They had gone to the Final Four the year before. So, and they had all their guys coming back but one. And they were ranked in the top 10 in the state all year. Well, that wasn't, and the coach was a young 25-year-old guy. It's not some
Yeah.
retread that got
Yeah.
trouble
Who's
at
on
a
a second chance.
university.
Yeah.
But it worked. I mean,
Yeah.
and we put the author and all that, and the filmmaker into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's not even from Indiana or anything. But,
Yeah.
But then neither's Bob Knight, and he's in it
Right.
too. But most of us in it are Hoosier born,
Wow.
But,
I love
Well,
that.
just to put things in perspective, I was 2 when he went to that
Wow.
basketball game.
Okay.
And we
All
will
right.
never let you forget it, Coach. We will never let you forget it. Hey, speaking of that, that's a great memory. One of my favorite memories, we were down at an event in Dallas. I don't even remember, but all of our families were together and we were waiting for valet. And somebody walked up to my husband and said, "Oh, you're Ashley's husband." And I remember him saying, "Yes, my name's Justin, but yes." And I remember, Coach, you looked at him and he said, "You know what? It's not all bad to be called that. I've heard you say on more than one occasion, when you're introduced, I'm Ann's husband."
No, I'm Mr. Ann.
Mr.
Harris.
Ann. I've heard that several times. So, Ann, what a year. We've talked about Hall of Fame. Naismith is just insane, right? But you, too, have had a very exciting
I
year.
have.
Frisco Style Magazine Person of the Year.
Yes.
I mean, following, of course, Spirit of Frisco Award winner, Founders Award winner by NBCF. I mean, we could go on and on with the awards. But this one I know was really special for you. Let's talk about this Person of the Year award you got.
It was quite an honor. I never expected it. I do what I do because I'm passionate about what I do as far as the nonprofit work and giving back. And to be honored with that title is pretty special.
And which nonprofits are you involved in? But I know
Well,
that you work
How
with
long
NBCF,
do you
of
have?
course.
How long?
Yeah, I know. This is amazing.
I mean, I started with City House, which was the homeless facility it's a program, not just a facility, but it's a program for kids, babies to 17-year-old in their licensed care facility, and then 18 to 22 in their homes for the kids that are out of foster care or on the streets or whatever. And so the reason I got involved with them was because I heard in Frisco back in 2012 that there were about 157 kids in our school district that were homeless. And it was shocking because, we were this up-and-coming city on the hill, right? And how could we have homeless kids? Mm-hmm. And when I approached a city leader, well, what can we do about this? Well, we really aren't doing anything about that. And so I went to an event during Homeless Awareness Week, and City House was there, and that's the first I heard of them, and the director was there. And I had, when I went up to her afterwards and I said, we're having an issue here in Frisco. I said, is there any way you could put one of your homes here in Frisco? And she said, I'll get back to you in a few weeks. And so she did, and she said, we'll do it if you can get it funded.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. And so Dell and I and a few others over the next 2 years were able to raise about $700,000.
Oh, wow.
And we opened the girls' home, was one thing, and then there was a resource center. Mm-hmm. And that was where the girls would go to check in with their counselor. They had to go like twice a week or something. And the girls in the City House program, in the transitional program, had to either be going to school or working. So a week before we were opening this beautiful 5-bedroom house with everything donated to us, that it was gorgeous, the HOA decided to send out a letter to the 1,000 homes and say, City House is moving in juvenile delinquents into this address.
I remember
And that
this.
started the uproar. And, none of those kids were juvenile delinquents. The one student was, at the time we only had 2. The one student was an AP student at, I believe, Heritage High School. And she was a senior just looking to graduate. And through an unknown reason, she and her mother, had a big fight and she kicked her out of the house. And so she had nowhere to go. The other young lady had a baby a couple of years before that. And she actually was in the licensed facility up to 17 years old, but once she turned 18, she couldn't be in there
You age
anymore.
out. Yeah.
And so then she had to, go into the transitional home. And the story about her was, it was horrible. I mean, she ended up living with her baby's father's family. So they're living together. And one day he took her to work and took the baby's, car seat out of the car, put it on the sidewalk, and said, "See ya." And that night she supposedly slept in an alley with the baby. And then the next day she knocked on somebody's door asking to use their computer and found City House. And
So you hear a story like that, and that just really sinks into your heart and makes you an advocate for life.
oh, yeah.
essentially.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you ever call Dale and say, well, get the guest bedroom ready. We're coming home with dogs and cats and people and babies.
Oh, trust
and
me, I'd have about 10 dogs if I
you'd
was
have a very
allowed
big
to.
house, right?
Yeah.
I just
But,
love it. But there were speed bumps to that, but you got it done.
We did. However, after we opened the home, the HOA decided to sue us at the county level. And we actually won at that level. And then the next day they sued us at the state level or district level in Dallas. And I felt confident we would win there too, because of course Dallas is a much more liberal city, and I didn't see a problem there. But then right before Christmas, the president of the board came to me and said, I remember it was outside our house, and she said, "Oh, I guess you heard we settled." And I went, "No, I didn't hear that. What do you mean we settled?" And she said, "Well, we agreed to not having more than 6 girls in the home. We agreed to not putting the boys' home in the neighborhood, and we agreed to 3 years." And I went, "Oh, well, 3 years? Why not 1 year? Why not 5 years? How did that?" "Well, that's just what, we decided to do." I'm like,
It's
"Okay."
arbitrary.
So I came in and I told Dell, and he said, "We've done our part. That's it."
Yeah.
So I still advocate for them any way I can. I just don't put the time in that I do.
Yeah, it's really hard, with missions that
Yeah.
a lot of times nonprofits have a mission, and it just feels almost like, you're scooping water out with a bucket, and then you take it out, and then
That's
it
for
fills
sure.
right back up again.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
along those lines, let's transition over a second. I'd love to talk to you about, many people may not know this, but you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yep.
And what year was that?
That was 2016, so I'm going into my 6th year. Yeah,
Congratulations.
in August.
I remember landing in Las Vegas at the airport. We were all headed for Summer League.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this,
I
Coach,
do.
but we all make the
You
run
were
to the
going this way,
bathroom.
we were going this
Yes,
way. Yeah.
and we were on 2 separate flights, I even believe, but we got out and you stopped me in the bathroom and you said, "I need to talk to you about something." And I'm like, "I'm in Las Vegas in the bathroom. This is going to be a very profound conversation, right?" Because it always is. They're always, and when you told me that, I remember it felt like I lost my legs. Like there was just nothing, because I didn't in that moment know how I can help. I knew of the Hell family. Kevin and I were great friends by the grace of God, right? But I just remember feeling like I needed to be strong for you in that moment, but I didn't have the right answer. And so much of what you guys have taught me over the years is that's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
have the right answer, but just being there sometimes is enough. But I want to talk more about, bring me back to 2016. Tell us about it.
Pretty much I, went through the diagnostic part of it and didn't know the answer yet. And I will never forget this, and I don't know if you remember, Dell, but we were pulling out of our driveway when the doctor called me. You remember? And to tell me, yes, it is cancer. And I said, "Well, okay, like, what do I do now?
What
Like,
next?
what's the next step? And then she, went on with that. But I didn't cry or anything. I was like, I think I was in shock, actually. When you hear it, you're like, what? What's going on? Like, is this true?
Yeah.
And, then you have hope, and you just hope that, things are going to work out. And my hope comes from my faith.
Mm-hmm.
And, my Holy Spirit just kept me going. So.
Yeah, my Esther. I know that. I know that's right. And that's because of you. I know you
Yes.
gave her that book. I
Yeah,
remember that
yeah.
story too. But what about you, Del? Like, what was that moment like for you when you hear the word cancer with your wife?
Well, just immediately you want to know what stage and what, I mean, it's not a death sentence, obviously. And there's, always, no matter what, you have hope that it'll be all right. People get sick all the time with one thing or another. And we talk about hope a lot, but the word like hope, love, they're used in so many different ways. You love ice cream. You love your son, daughter, spouse, and you hope that it doesn't rain when we're having the cookout. But real hope, true hope, has to come from a base, from a purpose. And if you have a purpose in life, and it is compatible, if you filter it through biblical truth, well, then it's okay to hope for recovery, for this, for that, if you're getting this hope fulfilled, will not only help you, but will help others. And you would use it then if you, like, my father was diagnosed with a serious heart condition when he was 55, and he hadn't done much in terms of faith for 30 years. He'd been all right as a youngster, and anyway, he prayed to God that if he would be spared this, he was going to have open heart surgery. Now, this is back in the 60s. There was only being done 3 different places. So he had to go to Boston, but he didn't qualify. He wasn't healthy enough to do it, and they gave him some time because he smoked and everything even. So he quit smoking that day, never did again. And I thought that it would last a week or two, or at most, but it just kept going year after year. He got the new valve, which was just a ball bearing that would, the blood would force it out and then it'd drop. You could get your head on his chest and hear it click.
Wow.
Now that
Sound like Iron Man.
and they thought that he was 55. They thought that they could extend his life 10 years. But he fulfilled all that he said. He became, step by step, an elder at the church. When the church was open, he was there. When he went to visit people, on and on. Or just the things that he did were just amazing. And he died at age 88.
Oh, my goodness.
With what we think was the longest plastic aortic valve in the world, but we don't know that. But we it was supposed to be 10, 12 years.
Yeah, but to your point, these moments like that really kind of redefine your purpose. It's almost like you're living differently, and you see things through a different lens. And I think one thing, Ann, that I can say is, like, I know it was such a defining moment for you, but you were already living that way before. I'm just curious to know, did your purpose shift? Did you have a bucket list? Did you approach every day differently? Did you try to be more present? What was it like after diagnosis?
Well, I can tell you that after diagnosis and during the experience, the year from then, I had 9 close friends or family members that came down with a diagnosis. And it's like, this is so strange. Like,
Is it your God wink? Like
is
what?
is that for me? Is that why I went through this, to help you guys through it? So.
Then there's been more and more as you
it's
go on.
It's an epidemic.
So before that,
crazy.
there wasn't really anyone else before you in your life?
My mother had breast cancer when she was 82, but that was, I'm sorry, when she was 62. That was back in 82 or 3.
Incredible. And
But that was before they
triggered all
even
that
knew
in your
anything
community.
about breast cancer. I mean,
Yeah.
she was kind of a guinea pig experiment with
Yeah.
treatment. So
what kind of thing would you say if one of your friends had called you, one of those 9 called you, what was one of the first things you would say to them?
I mean, and they did, and I called them, and actually, what was funny was, who would have thought Facebook would be the medium for, expressing your faith and helping people, but I didn't want to keep it hidden, and I put it out there on Facebook. You probably remember it was this long couple paragraphs about my faith and getting through it, and I would just tell them, that to trust God and, trust you'll get through this. It's not your mother's cancer, that happened for me, when my mother was 62. But now they have the treatments and they know what's going on. And it's a bump in the road, but you're going to get through it. So.
When we talk a lot about community, right? We talk the impact you've had on the community, what you've done in the basketball world, Coach. But I think that it is your God wink. But a lot of what you and I have had an opportunity, and I know we've got to wrap here shortly, but a lot of what we've talked about is the responsibility to these women. Because a lot like Janelle, there are so many women that are newly diagnosed, in the midst of it, going through it. And what gives them hope are seeing individuals like yourself that have gotten through it.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that it's easy, but you're a beacon of hope for them, just like Janelle. You don't hear stories of women that have survived it that long,
Yes.
right? Let's talk
Right.
about that responsibility to that community.
Yeah. Well, actually, and I had my angels before I did anything. And if I wouldn't have had them, I would have gone a different direction, different doctor.
She's talking about us, Kevin. She's talking about
Probably not me.
But I remember my angel, and I still call her Angel, she said, I want you to have lunch with a friend of mine who's an anesthesiologist and another friend who went through breast cancer. And so I did, and we talked about the doctor that I was going to go to in Plano, and they looked at me and they went, like the anesthesiologist went like that. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. What's wrong? And she recommended that I went to UT Southwestern. And I went, but that's such a far drive. I don't want to have to drive all the way down there, make those trips. And they looked at me like, what are you talking about?
What is it?
You're going to go to the best place to go to.
It's life
right?
and death.
if you had to get on a plane to do it, you would, right?
would.
I mean, yeah.
But then that made me realize that, they were right. And then the other lady that was there went through breast cancer. And she told me of her experience. And one of the things that I tell people now when I hear they have breast cancer is, and they say, oh, well, I'm just going to do a lumpectomy, or I'm just going to, do one mastectomy. I don't know what that's called. But and I would say to them, I did the double mastectomy, and when they took the tissue out in the other breast, they found breast cancer growing, and we didn't know it. Mm. And same with my angel that told me that. She said it first. And so after it's kind of weird, but after she told me about that, she said, do you want to see my breast? And I'm like, okay. So we went in the bathroom, and she pulled up her shirt, and I went, oh my gosh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Like that was,
Yeah.
I mean, she had 2 beautiful breasts that
Right.
there was nothing you would never even know. So that was like the click, that, okay, this is not going to be a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
A question I have, we're need to probably wrap up, even though I could ask you guys about 50 million questions.
Harris 2.0
Oh, my
podcast coming
goodness.
soon.
Seriously. We're stacking up these 2.0s. We
Yes.
had Brandon Carr on.
Yes.
Amazing. I had so many questions I didn't get to ask him. But you just had some more really exciting news that happened in your family. Your son, Larry, who's the assistant general manager for the Golden State Warriors, just won another trophy.
Yeah.
Another one.
Another one. That's
The fourth.
amazing.
The
Four
fourth.
rings.
Four. So he didn't have any room to keep all his accolades. But tell us about that. I know you had been cheering for him. You're pretty excited. Pretty excited for him.
Well, definitely. It's one thing when you're a fan of, a team, but it's another thing when you have blood out there,
Yeah.
and so, we're most thankful for that. But Larry has worked at it a long time. He's been with Golden State for 14 years, just signed up for 2 more, and he was with the Bucks for 20 years. So he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing, and his role is player personnel. So
Yeah.
he's done a really good
Yeah, I
job.
saw the videos of him spraying the champagne. And
Yeah,
everything.
it's good
Well
to see the
deserved.
dance moves are hereditary. Like you pass that down. That's pretty good. So,
That didn't come through me.
but you talk about all these amazing things that have happened to your family. So before we go, I just want to ask you, you're halfway through this year. You were almost 7 months into this year. How are you going to top these first few months of the year?
Yeah.
Well, we're just waiting for September 10th when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then, whatever happens after that, that's
You'll
It's just-
be flying up there, and
it'll be on
you got your clothes
ESPN, I'm
picked
pretty
out
sure.
yet?
So
Now I can't remember. Did they have a jacket kind of like the NFL? They have the same thing.
yeah,
do.
he
They
gets a
do.
ring and a
Have you
jacket.
started writing your speech?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Any
done.
tidbits you want to give us for breaking
Oh,
news?
no, they only give you 5 minutes. So.
Yeah.
But
As long as Ashley and I get a mention.
how do you
in there
get 8
for-
decades into 5 minutes?
You don't.
That's incredible.
Of course, you can tell right now I have a tendency to ramble anyway, but so I have to, they'll have a teleprompter because they don't want
Yeah.
you to go over, particularly me. But anyway, last thing I just want to say, with the things that Ann's been talking about with, the breast cancer thing and the thing that I talked about with my father and with some of the things that I've done, is that we mentioned purpose, and if it's good to hope, and your hope will be blessed if you have a reason to want to survive, that you have something that you want to give, to do. Your hope has to benefit others, not just you. Selfish hope is not hope at all.
Yeah.
And Romans 15:13 says that he is the God of hope. And so when you filter things through that, then you have, I think, the best opportunity to get through the thing. We're all going to die anyway, so it's not that all you have to do is pick a way that you're going to use your success for service. You're not going to make it through this whole business alive anyway, but that's important, and then you can count on hope.
Thank you. Yeah, the message for me and everything that you guys have said is stay clear-minded when you're given bad news in life. Ask questions. Figure out what's going on. Don't panic. I mean, that's really the thing that you guys did in what I heard in all these situations is don't panic. Take stock of what's going on. Bring your family and your friends and God into the equation. You're not by yourself, an island unto yourself. And then really just assess why you're doing what you're doing, what your purpose is.
Be a mentor to others and help them. So
And just reach out and take everyone along as one big tribe. So along those lines, thank you to everyone who's been watching our podcast. We're excited about. We have some really great guests coming up here in the future. Anything else, Ashley?
Yeah, no, I just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We know how busy you are and what an exciting season it is. So it was so just wonderful to allow you guys to have a seat at the table, and thank you for blessing us with your words. And one thing that I would just love to get on camera before you go is a commitment that when you get back in September, I want the first-hand account in the studio of what it was like. I know you've never missed a home game, right? I mean, you've never missed. And what an opportunity to see it come full circle and to get to be there for the biggest day. So congratulations on your year so far. We're excited to be a tiny piece of it, and we look forward to our next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in to Hope Ignited.
Thank you for all you guys do as well.
Thank you,
Yes.